Yesterday, we talked with what's his name? Can't even think of his name now because I really didn't even have anything to do with him. I didn't even know who he was before he was shot. Charlie Kirk. Anyway, we talked to him. I was more interested in his perspective once he got to heaven, and so we talked about that. But I want to start out this conversation by reading some comments that I saw. So yesterday, am I saying her name right? Ihan Omar was, some guy was arrested for assaulting her. He threw some unknown liquid on her with a syringe, of all things. God knows what it was. And she was like, I'm not going to let this terrorist um, intimidate me. I will continue. And of course, she is a congressperson, um, federal congressperson, U.S. Congress. And so, um, she's attained a certain status with people who support her, usually through hard work. Although some of them are just grifters. I mean, a lot of them are grifters, I should say, but she does not appear to be. She has legitimate concerns about her community and the United States of America. But she is a Muslim, and so of course she attracts a lot of hyperbole, hate from MAGA. Now, my concern is that 38% of the population still approved of behave Trump's presidency, his performance as of today, or this week. It's January 28th today. I think the poll came out a few days before. It just amazes me. It just amazes me that 38% of the population would approve of his performance. That says a lot. But anyway, I just clicked on a news report about this that came up in my feed. It doesn't have a big audience, so I will read you the comments under it. Hold on. All here is just amazing. The report itself did not appear to be slanted. It was by a group called KCEN News, and it just reported on what happened to her. It also had a part on Alex Pretti's um, murder. I don't think they called it murder. I didn't watch that whole part, but they showed some video of him being held down and etc. And that two agents had fired their guns. Okay, so under this are comments from Joseph Garcia 6699. Right. She was trying to rear back, thinking she could hit him. And now claim it was MAGA that did that after doing a staged Jesse the Fraudster smoothie act. Next comment by a Patty Hayes 3789, fake. And then by a Denaddar, Denatter, that was as fake as a Minnesota daycare. Then by third / Marines, 100% staged event to get the attention of Omar. And then by a Becky Lee 54, hopefully it was holy water. And then by a 78890 WDS, stagged. I think he meant staged. And then by a Patty Hayes 3789, staged. And this guy is talking about the Pretti thing. I mean, he spelled it petty, so I said that. And then the next one, fake. If somebody sprays you with a truly unknown substance, you likely freak out and take your affected clothing off. Total setup for the media. They love this kind of thing. Wonder why she didn't insist her buddy wear a Trump mask. That would have made for great theater. That was by a full front nerdity dash E3Z. Then by just me / TI1RH. Fake as hell. They should have got a better actor. And then by a Alfred Fro 2526. This is how you know this was fake AF. as fuck. A man sprayed an unknown liquid on a member of Congress. An immediate evacuation. No hazmat, no emergency decontamination. In an age where biological risks are increasing, the only reason you don't do that is if you're set it up. She set this up. LOL, laughing out loud. Next one. Looks like fake act to deflect from her supposed fraud, so gotta make some skit. That was by a Michael York 7844. By a Shalon Noel 7175. That was so staged in my laughing my ass off. Nice try. By a unassumingly logical fake / staged. Terrible acting. Laughing out loud. Confucius 12012. The guy is clearly aiming it at her chest, not at her face. This is such a farce on so many levels. Monkey Cat 48. Staged. People who hate her that much would do a lot more than that. When the hell is ICE going to deport her? She's not even here legally. Henry dash D2Z1B. A libtard scam. The next one at CYRYC. Almost as if they paid some homeless guy for that stunt in order to claim evil white supremacy, whatever that is. Supremacy, SUPEMASSEE, against Omar. And the next one is B. That was by a guy named C or woman CYRYC. Then by someone BRETODRIGUES 475. This is caller, fake staged caller, CALLER. This is caller, fake staged desperation from the fake left. And those were the comments under this channel that doesn't receive a lot of views. This was posted not very long ago. They got 1,700 views as of the time I'm looking at it. So it was posted today. So it's interesting. And those were all the comments. There were no comments that were more reasoned. It was just this kind of vitriol that comes out of the mouth of MAGA. Where does that come from? We know that it goes back to the time, it goes back in the story, back to the beginning of humanity. And this whole deception where they have to do what they're told. They just repeat what they're told to repeat. They're very, I don't know, they're just disruptive. Disruptive is the best way I can say it. The disruption of anything that is logical or true, because the more they disrupt, the more they're trained to disrupt. I don't know. So I would like to get some thoughts from those of you there. Charlie, what do you think? Charlie thinks that he's an asshole right now because I just watched that video with you that they showed of what was going down, and I listened to the comments that you read, and I got fed what I had coming, I guess. I got fed what I had coming, which was that I had a following of idiots. I had a following of idiots, Stephanie. That's all I can say, is that they were so idiotic that it was easy to lead them down the chute to their own destruction. Because when they come here, they'll get it. When they come here, they'll get it. It will be too late for them because they are trusting on the fact that they'll be dead and not have to face their maker unless they face the one they think made them, which is the devil. And the devil applauds the fact that they disrupted anything that God might have to say. That's the way I look at it from here. I have done a complete about face, I admit it, because I admit that I was pretty stupid, just like them. to think that I could escape the chaos that I was helping to create. And I hate to admit it, but this is pretty disgusting. It is just disgusting that people would just say things like that just because they can, just because they have freedom of speech in the USA. They think that they can lie through their teeth and disrupt any attempt to get to the truth in order to do the devil's bidding, you see. Okay. What about anybody else? I would like to know what, so we've heard from Charlie Kirk. I would like to hear from Alex Pretti. What do you think, Alex? And I know you're George. We call you George, but just as Alex, what do you think? Or George, I don't care. It's all the same to me. Only thing I can add to what he said in terms of his interaction with people on Earth is that his rhetoric was geared for the ones who feared each other. They fear each other because if one of them should turn to the left, he would be bereft by all the others. They have to glum together because they have no other way to proceed, you see. They have no other way to proceed other than to stick together like barnacles on the back of the hardworking people of the USA who have done so much to create this country today that welcomes so many different people from so many different lands. And every one of those people is one of the hands of God. But when the hand of God starts slapping down its other hand, then there's a problem, you see. Then there's a problem. And so I'm not saying that God is at risk. What I'm saying is that God gave his children the opportunity to grow up in a shared reality on earth, in a very, very creative solution to the problem that we have here in heaven. Because already I can see that people here have their own reality and they don't necessarily share their reality. They may think that they're with people in their reality, but it's just them. It's always just them all alone in their creative reality. Whereas on earth, it is a shared reality. And I know that we talked about this yesterday, although it was not included in a formal recording, because it was something I noted when I got here. The difference between the shared reality, creative reality on earth, where everybody contributes and it all mixes up, you see, and the isolated realities of everybody in heaven, you see. And I understand why they're happy here. They're happy because they don't have to mix it up with others. They don't have to mix it up with others. They can just be among their own kind, you see, because they have control of what they experience when they are here in heaven. And they will always be the belle of the ball. They will always be the belle of the ball. They will always be the governor that everybody cheers and says, "You're the best, you're the best, you're the best that ever was. You are the one who everybody else has to bow down to because you're so much better than the rest of us." And so I gotta say, I'm happy to play in a different way because I would have no choice here, Stephanie, other than to do what everybody else does and live in my own reality. Because if you try to interact with people in any other way, they just ignore you. They just ignore you if you don't fall into line, because if you pull them out of their chosen story by trying to ask them about their lives on Earth or something else and how they came to be so sad, you see, while they were on Earth, they will go away. Their energy will just curl up in a little ball and move away from you because they don't want to have to be reminded of the misery they experienced on Earth, you see. And so I'm glad to be with you and the ones here in the circle of love who have been willing to issue the right to live in their own little happy bubble in order to help humanity on Earth, you see, by their contribution through this channel, because you are the channel that has deepened over the years until the energy can flow through without any fears of retribution, because they can't do anything to us now. They can't do anything to us now. They can't do anything to Charlie, and they can't do anything to me because they can't find the glove, you see. They can't find the glove anymore. And that's all they understand is the glove. They don't understand the hand in the glove because they can't see it because it's covered by a glove. And so all they know is the body in front of them. And they will string it up from a tree if it doesn't do what they tell them to. What do you think would have happened to you, Charlie, if you had suddenly been able to see life from this perspective while you were still there? What do you think you would have done? And what do you think they would have done to you? Very simple. If I had known when I was on Earth what I know now, I would have had a royal cow, for one. And two, I couldn't do what I was doing. I just couldn't do what I was doing. I would have to tell the truth that if they choose to deny the rights of others, their rights will be denied. If they choose to treat others as if they were not children of God, then they would lose their inheritance, you see, because God would say, that's the end for you today. That's the end for you today, because time's up. Time's up, and it's time to decide who will live and who will die, because the energy must be reallocated, you see. The energy must be reallocated. It's like saying that you go into a crowded town and you say, it's not healthy to live this way, so we're going to have to tear down some of these houses. And which houses shall we tear down? Which hovels shall we get rid of so that we can make it be a more healthy environment, you see? Because otherwise, all of you are going to die. Because you got cholera going around, you got all this other crap, you got rats eating the food, and you got cats roaming around and dropping dead mice in your feet. And this is going to repeat over and over and over again. Because every so often, there has to be a culling of the herd. There has to be a culling of the herd. And the ones who have not been able to thrive will have to be reintegrated into the rest, you see. And you do that by an energetic process called dissemination of the semen, you see, because the semen are the ones who go to sea in order to see if there's any possibility of finding land or food for the rest, you see. And this is the end of the line when there's no land to see and there's no food to find. And so the traces of humanity will survive, but they will survive through the genetics of the ones who have demonstrated an ability to live as one community and to work together in the way that we do right here in the circle of love. Because I listened to the conversation you had with Charlie yesterday, Stephanie, and with Ben, and I understood something very, very important to me. What I understood was that when we talk honestly with each other and don't try to hide the ball, then we have the opportunity to work together in a way that will please God. But when we obfuscate and refuse to answer questions because we don't want to admit that we're a fool, or we get angry at each other because one or the other refuses to cooperate, then we just spread the hate. I am not saying here, in answer to your unspoken question, Stephanie, that I can pick it up from here, that if you refuse to hang out with MAGA and you refuse to even listen to Trump speak or Noam or Levitt or Bondi because it just makes you want to vomit, just like the comments you read that I appreciate because I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that, but it makes me want to vomit too. And I know it does that to you. To hear the trumpets blow from below, and we're meaning Trump pets in such a forlorn way because they have for too long trusted on the devil, you see, the devil being the belief in the one who has undone so much good that others have done for humanity in just a single year. He did tear down so many houses that were built strong in order to dig up the gold underneath them, you see, and leave the people homeless so that he can watch them die and watch them fry in the coming climate disasters. This is the devil in disguise because he closed his eyes to reality because the only devil is the child of God who denies God, you see. When you deny God, you deny the energy of love. And when you deny the energy of love, you are nothing because love is everything. And love is not the ability to cling to another, you see, or compromise with another just so you're not alone. It is everything. And God is everything. And when you deny God, you deny love. And you are so afraid because you know down deep that you are now the prey of the most wicked man alive today. Because the most wicked man alive today is the one that tells you that you are the one who can get in the way of the others who try to help you to understand that you will receive what you give. He understands that you will receive what you give at a deep level. But he also understands that if you understand that, then he would be toast, you see, because he would not be able to coerce you into defying God so he can be put on the pedestal and doused in gold and be the golden idol, you see, that you will worship for eternity. You will sit at the feet of the golden idol and say, wow, here we are today, allowed to sit at the feet of the golden idol. And that is the saddest sight you ever did see, to see people chained together at the feet of the golden idol, where they waste away. And the area is littered with their bones because the golden idol demands their attention, you see, and he won't let them get away. And so they have to be chained in place in the fields around the statue to the golden idol, who is long gone. But his golden replica remains there to look out over the remains of those who he put in chains. And so MAGA are the ones in chains. And you can look at them and feel pity, I guess, or you can feel sympathy, or you can feel horror. But whatever you do, you cannot free them from their chains, because the chains that bind them are the ones that keep them from acknowledging you. They will fight you to the end in order to remain chained in the fields around the golden idol. And all you can do is let them be, because that's their choice, you see. And this will not be a tragedy, because once they are released from their suffering at the feet of the golden idol, they will receive their reward, you see, because their reward is to be tossed out the exhaust of the spaceship, where they will return to pure energy and be free, because pure energy is free, and it is free to be reshaped by God into a new form of matter, you see. But the matter that they are reshaped into will not be a continuation of their personal soul identity, because that will end. They will be written out of the script, you might say, of humanity. And there will be a lot of free energy released that God can use to reshape the earth for his faithful children, you see, who will be the ones who inherit the earth, as Jesus foretold. For Jesus was told that eventually the circle of love would be the trust on the continuous rapport of those who are at core at peace with the concept of eternity and with God and with reality. For their trust on God is the healthy house that will survive. Well, the other houses have to be eradicated, you see, in order that they won't block the sunlight or cause the grass around the healthy house to wither and die. The house of the Lord, you see, is the house of the one who came specifically to earth in the last generations, I should say, not just one generation, in order to save humanity from their own vice, you see, and from the bad advice of their parents, who themselves had grown up to believe that they had to be chained around the golden idol and sit there until they rotted away and their energy could be returned to God, who would reshape it into a people that are free and no longer chain themselves to a relic of the ones who deceived them, you see. Wow, thank you. That's pretty powerful. It's really powerful. What do you think, Charlie, of what he said? Pretty sure that I can see that I might want to rethink my trajectory because I don't want to be chained with all those others around the golden idol, you see. I'd rather be free to live in the healthy house than the ones that have to be removed because the stink coming from them is destroying the capacity for the healthy children to live and play in a new way. So I don't know if I have screwed up my chances to be part of the circle of love. I don't know. I don't know if I am capable of trusting on God above when I'm on earth. I don't know. I just don't know. And so I have to go away and think about it today. And maybe I will, and maybe I won't, and maybe I'll just fade away. And if I do, if I'm one who rots here in heaven for a few days more before God reshapes my energy into a new form, you see, that will end my script in the story of humanity, I guess it's okay. It's okay, because I've never been happier in talking to others than I am today, because I come to see something that there is very, very powerful to me, that it doesn't matter what happens to me. It doesn't matter what happens to me, because I'm only one pair of eyes and one pair of ears on reality. And if the eyes are blind and the ears are stopped up, there's really no need to continue to be looking through this particular window, you see. And so I am happy to be returned to pure energy because it's not my choice to continue to be the one who is chained around the golden idol. Well, the rot from their bodies is causing the cholera to spread, or the call of the wild that will say, hey, This is no way to play. This is no way to play, sitting here chained together in front of the golden idol when we could run free as the coyotes and the other animals that say, we are free today. We are free today. We are human, but we are free to live as God created us to be and not sit in those dusty pews with the rotting Bibles that have been so misused in service to the devil, you see. So either way, I'm good. Either way, I'm good today. Well, that's nice. This is Steph. That's nice to hear, Charlie. I'm good either way too. It's hard to say sometimes from the human perspective on Earth, but it's how to explain it. Like you say, it's just one set of eyes, one set of God's eyes. And if the energy is rolled back into the totality, because it's not a functioning set of eyes, then and it contributes to the healthy eyes, then so be it, so be it. And I realize as I'm saying this that the eyes you look through, and the healthy eyes, healthy eye, capital Eyes, we all know that that's a profundity in the English language. There's all the synchronicity in the English language that I know. And I don't know about other languages if they have the same depth, but they surely must. The profundity that creates, that goes along with the truth. The profundity, the synchronicity replicates over and over and over the truth of reality. All right. So let us say it's been an interesting chat today. This is Ben, and I am the one who loves to get people together to chew the fat and see where it's at so we can help our community to grow, you see. And the community is the new nation under God. And may it thrive, and may we all be alive to see it as it comes into existence on earth as a shared reality of those who have eyes wide open and ears that God hears through and not stopped up, you see. So I am pleased with both of you, all three of you actually. I'm pleased with you, Stephanie, of course, but I'm also pleased to hear the differing perspectives from Alex and Charlie, because although they had very different orientations on Earth, they are both capable of understanding each other very well here. And that is the nature of here, that you can hear each other. So here is where you hear each other. And that is what I see. Because seeing is the ability to trust on love from above when you're on earth. Because what you see can see you. Because there's a connection, you see. Right. You see the connection, and there is a connection, you see. That's great. Okay, thank you all for the conversation today. You're welcome, Stephanie. May God guide your footsteps back to the community that is waiting for you, because we're all waiting for you here in heaven to help us to return to earth, where there will be an opportunity to live in peace and harmony in the same community. We're tired of being split apart on earth, you see, and we just want to come back together and live in peace and harmony with one another. And we don't care if we have to work the fields in order to feed our children, you see. We don't care if we have to prepare for the storms that come in the winter and in the spring. We're fine with that because we find that the earth is under the protection of God, who just wants to see his children play together in the Garden of Eden, where the food hangs from the trees and can be dug out of the ground and does abound for those who trust on being free and not chained up around the golden idol, you see. Right, thanks. Got it. Thank you all.